There's a pattern that shows up in homes, workplaces, and relationships. If you're capable, you'll become the default. You're the one who notices what needs doing. You're the one who steps in before being asked. And you're the one who keeps things moving. And because you do it well, more lands on your plate. It's not necessarily because you volunteered, but because you don't let things drop. And over time, that becomes your role. The reliable one, the steady one, the responsible one. And these kind of roles have gravity. In workplaces, reliability often gets rewarded with volume. You show up, you meet your deadlines, you don't create chaos, and so you get more work. And then at home, it's similar. If you're the one who cares about how things function, you end up being the one who maintains them. And it's not because someone forced you, but because you feel the discomfort or disorder more acutely than others. For some people, unfinished tasks are mildly inconvenient. But for others, they create tension. And if you're in the second group, you'll almost always step in first. And it's not because you're trying to control anything, but because your nervous system prefers resolution. Being capable isn't just something you do, it's part of how you see yourself. You're competent, you're dependable, you handle the hard things. And that identity feels solid, so stepping back doesn't feel neutral. It can feel lazy or irresponsible or below your standards. And that's where resentment begins, not because you can't cope, but because you're always the one coping. And what you actually want isn't praise, it's equality. Not admiration, not applause, just shared load. Now here's the difficult part. This isn't fixed with a meditation. And it's not fixed with a single boundary conversation. Because this isn't just behavior, it's a role. And roles are reinforced over time. Every time you automatically pick something up, the system around you adapts. People learn you'll handle it, not maliciously, just predictably. And so the shift isn't about becoming less capable, it's about becoming less automatic. Instead of asking, can I do this, you ask, is this actually mine? And if it isn't, can you tolerate leaving it there? That's the uncomfortable part. Because when you stop carrying, there will be friction. Things might wobble, someone might be inconvenienced, and you might feel guilty. You might feel like you're lowering your standards, but sometimes what feels like lowering your standards is actually recalibrating your role. Being capable is a strength, but when it becomes expectation, it can quietly turn into overfunctioning. And overfunctioning always has a cost. If you've been feeling tired lately, it's not because you're incapable, but because you're constantly the one holding things together. And that makes sense. But here's the part that matters. If you don't consciously decide where your effort goes, other people will decide for you. Not intentionally, but by default. Capability fills the gaps, and if you don't choose your gaps carefully, you'll spend your energy plugging everyone else's. So this isn't about becoming careless, it's about being selective. You don't have to carry everything just because you can, and you don't have to prove your competence by absorbing more. Sometimes the shift isn't insight, it's restraint. It's leaving something undone long enough for someone else to notice. Letting there be a mild discomfort without rushing to remove it. Not because you're petty, but because shared responsibility doesn't appear by accident. It appears when roles are disrupted. Being capable is not the problem. being the only one carrying is. And that only changes when you decide what is yours and what's not.